Welcome to the final part of this course on designing villains. In this part, we are going to work with colors, paying attention to lighting effects, especially light sources. In this case, I've decided that the light source comes from above. I'm going to color it with purple because this color, I think, means seriousness and mystery. Moreover, it's connected to the skin tone usually used for villains. As I said, it's a sort of alien with fantastic features. That's why we can use any color, that's up to you. For example, I prefer purple. So, taking the light source into account, I've blown up the colors towards a higher illumination, and now it seems that the focus is above the character's head. Regarding the other elements, I've colored them with different brushes. In my case, I've used preset brushes of Photoshop and also hard brushes from Kyle Webster. As you can see here, I'm using a dark tone for the hair. I think black is a good choice that works fine in this particular case. Well, let's start now with the clothing. As you might remember from the briefing I created, I wanted this character to be elegant and serious. We'll be creating the light effects by adding different colors. Guys, don't forget to highlight the scars, they are very important. Guys, again, don't forget the scars because they identify the characters. The only element missing is the hair. And here we go. Well, our first character is almost ready. I'm just adding some final light effects, okay? And this would be the result. But as I said, you can choose any other colors you fancy. In my case, I've selected purple and black because I think it's the easier way and that it fits really well, actually, with the character and so on. Let's start with the second character, the Psycho. Well, I've chosen this tone, but I think I'll change it for a blue one. So if you press Ctrl and U, and you will see a window where you can change it. Also, I believe this color is much better because I'm inspired by a shark. Anyway, as I said before, these are fantastic characters, so we don't need to use pink tones like in the first lessons. It's better to use cooler ones. So that's why I prefer this range of colors. For the hair, I'm using black as well, which works fine for villains. I'm going to use black and grey tones for the suit. Well, I think I'll use a different light source in this case, and I'm going to direct light from top to bottom. Okay, after coloring the illustration with basic tones, I'm going to add other details. For example, I'm going to use purple for the gums, a dark tone as you can see. Well, I prefer cooler tones instead of warmer ones, at least in this case. Let's add some shades over here. And now, when I finish coloring, I'll add a layer above and create a gradient, which is going to let us add more lighting effects afterwards. Obviously, as we are drawing, we can change our mind if we aren't happy with the results. So, back to the gradient. I've set the buff layer on multiply mode and I've reduced opacity a little bit. I'm going to use now a green tone to put in more light effects. In this case, the light source goes bottom to top. So the focus now is under the character, so we'll need to light up the parts at the bottom, like you see in the picture. In the case of the illustration of the right, I've placed it at the top. So as a result, light effects are different in each of them, but it can be observed in both of them a gloomy aspect, so you can see clearly how the character is. We just need to play around with colors and light to see what you prefer. And now we're going to start with the third one, the corrupt character. As I said before, our evil police officer is an old man, a grey-haired man. What I'm going to do is first color the hair with brown and then draw the white hair. This character will be human, a Caucasian man. This time I'm going to use warm colors for the clothes. I want him to have some features that reminds us that he was actually a good guy in the past, but that has become a villain for some reason or something that happened. So it won't be necessary for him to wear black clothes, but it's important to reflect on the illustration that he's not quite a good dude. First, I'm going to add the light source bottom to top for this character, and then I'm going to finish the shades. I must confess that I like this one without any light effect, but I'll use them anyways just to show you the results. Well, now we're going to follow the same steps than before. Grading on multiply mode, lower the opacity, and with a lighter yellow I'm going to emphasize the lighting. Okay guys, let's start now with the last character, the mad scientist. I want to emphasize particularly the green color. I'll use it for the chemical liquid inside the test tube. Why? Well, basically because, as we were saying before, green has a specific connotation for villains and helps to identify them clearly. First, I'm going to color everything with base colors and then create volume saturating the tone I'm using. For the gown, I'm using a rose color tone to differentiate it from the white background. Be careful when coloring. And green for the liquid. Let's color the mouse now. Once we've finished the mouse, we'll need to repeat the same process than before to add the light effects. Let's select the layer and put a copy above. I'm going to use a radial gradient and set its focus on the green test tube. As you can see, I'm using a green tone for the lighting. Actually, I'm using a very light green to lighten up some specific spots. So guys, this will be the result. I really hope that you've liked it and that's been useful for designing your own villains. I also hope that I helped you with your knowledge about anatomy and other stuff. Guys, see you in the next course. Bye!